aspect of it all is that we have a president who has gone AWOL. Governance cannot be conducted on WhatsApp, via WhatsApp platform, or the internet, or the social media. Governance is conducted with the president having his boots, on the ground. Charles, this president traveled. I'm not aware, citizens, we're not aware that, the commander-in-chief has been ceded to the vice president. There is a limit to what the vice president can do. The Yorubas have a saying. They say, "Àìsí ológin nílé wa dílé èkúté." In the absence of the pussycat, the rat takes over. His absence does two things. One is going to enable all of these bad characters, to be able to continue to do what they're doing, to attack, to maim, to kill. His presence will give succor.
Now, why Nigeria mourned over 100 lives in fresh waves of attack across Plateau, Benue, and Borno states? The president is reportedly in France and now in the UK on what is called a working visit. But is that acceptable in a time of national crisis? On Arise TV, Mr. Ibe Paul, special advisor to former Vice President Atiku'S, didn't hold back while accusing President Tinubu of abandoning this country and leading from abroad. Now, he's saying that this is not acceptable and is accusing President Tinubu of abandoning the country and leading from abroad while Nigeria just spirals into chaos. Now, let's look at his video.
Aspect of it all is that we have a president who has gone AWOL. Governance cannot be conducted on WhatsApp, via WhatsApp platform, or the internet, or the social media. Governance is conducted with the president having his boots, on the ground. Charles, this president traveled. I'm not aware, citizens, we're not aware that, the commander-in-chief has been ceded to the vice president. There is a limit to what the vice president can do. The Yorubas have a saying. They say, "Àìsí ológin nílé wa dílé èkúté." In the absence of the pussycat, the rat takes over. His absence does two things. One is going to enable all of these bad characters, to be able to continue to do what they're doing, to attack, to maim, to kill. His presence will give succor. It will give, it will give confidence to Nigerians. It's like your dad being away in a storm. There was a night, my wife and I woke up. It was a serious storm here in Abuja. And all of a sudden, we turned right and left. Our children had gathered into our room. And they were safe. The absence of the president, the commander-in-chief, does not give any succor, doesn't give comfort to citizens.
Well, his special advisor on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, has issued a statement saying the president is in constant communication with key government officials and is overseeing critical national matters and is giving directives to security chiefs to address emerging threats. He didn't mention anything about WhatsApp or social media. That sounds like the ground is well covered.
Which ground?
Well, the ground that the president is oversees, which is the state of the nation.
If the ground is well covered, Charles, the last couple of days, we've had over 100 deaths arising from attacks in Benue and in Plateau, twice in Plateau State, in Boko's local government, and some other place. And the same thing is, is being replicated elsewhere. So what ground is he talking about? Maybe his portfolio needs to be changed to special advisor on misinformation and propaganda, because that is what it's all about. It matters less that the president has moved from France to the United Kingdom. Probably what may change is the menu. The French will probably have afforded them a different menu from what you probably will, have the benefits of a complete, British breakfast. Charles, this is appalling. The Nigerians are complaining about the absence of the president, and then he takes a flight from Paris to London. What does that change? And you are telling us that grounds are covered. No, sir. The grounds are not covered. We are being weighed down by the enormity, both the security challenges, the economic, challenges. Nigerians are worse off than they were 2 years ago.
I understand the symbolic need for a president to be around at a time of perceived crisis. But I mean, the president could be forgiven, this is what his aides say, for feeling somewhat beleaguered and wanting to take 2 weeks off to get some rest, recharge his batteries. His aides argue that he's been on full trot with the economy, politics, insecurity, and innumerable other issues, and that he deserves to take a fortnight off. But you don't think so?
Charles.
I mean, a fortnight, and when they mean fortnight off, they mean they call it a working visit. So he's not actually lounging at a beach drinking pina coladas. I mean, he's working whilst he's away. That's what they say. But clearly, you don't agree with that.
In 2024, former President Biden was in Delaware. And then he was forced to leave Delaware back to Washington because of a credible threat, Iranian threat against Israel, who are, partners of the US. In 2016, former President Barack Obama cut short his visit to Europe to go visit Texas because of shooting that claimed the lives of 5 policemen. Charles, we've had over 100 killings. And the president is out there reflecting. So you ask yourself, what is the reflection about? To see Nigerians die in their numbers, and he can't come home to empathize with them. I don't know what is going on, except there is more to what he's talking about. Cyril Ramaphosa, the president of South Africa, in 2019, he was in Egypt on a state visit, and there was energy crisis in South Africa, and he flew back to go and take charge of the situation. And this is the same president that in 2023 did say that he had banned, I think that was in April, it was to take effect April 1 of 2023. Maybe that was an April Fool prank, a joke. The president did say that official trips to be funded by government were banned, effective April 1, 2023. So what is the president reflecting on? In France, and now to the United Kingdom, that he cannot do in Ekpe? There are results there.
For Mr. Paul Ibe, Special Advisor to the former Vice President, Atiku', speaking on behalf of Atiku', has accused the president of being away while the nation is facing crisis. He criticized the absence of the president. Now, he pointed out the recent killings in Plateau State and Borno State. and said that the president's physical presence is needed to reassure the people. And he is saying that leadership isn't supposed to be via WhatsApp or press statements. He's saying that leadership should be about boots on ground, physical presence to reassure your people when the nation is in total chaos. He's criticizing the president's decision to be outside of the country while everybody is running helter-skelter. Now, he pointed out world leaders that cut down on their foreign visitations because they needed to handle domestic crises, like Joe Biden and Cyril Ramaphosa. He said he was asking why the visitation of President Tinubu is important at this particular moment when Nigeria is going through chaos. He's saying that all those foreign visitations are not needed. Pointed out that the president was in France and now he's in the UK, which is not supposed to be. And he said that governance or leading a people isn't something that should be done through WhatsApp or through press statements. He's actually calling out the president, saying that this is not something that is supposed to be, that the physical presence of the president is needed just to reassure the people, to make sure that, to reassure the people that the president is aware of what is going on and he has the situation under control. Now, it seems like Atiku'S camp is trying to draw a contrast between presence and absence. Now, the criticism isn't just about where President Tinubu is. It is about what he is doing there and why the government seems to be silent on key issues going on in the country presently. But let's be honest. Do you think that this is also a political war where Atiku'S camp is trying to slam the current president in order to pass a political message and to push himself?